I got to spend more time on is the topic is TMZ, because what I understand to happen, even this is a small occurrence, and then I mean, this will be continuing, and you can expect to be dealing with the same type of thing. TMZ buys up all of this footage, cell phone footage. We live in a society where everybody has a cell phone, so they buy in all this cell phone footage. People that have to clear up the air, their perspective is not, it won't be considered redeemable. Like, it'll be an unredeemable perspective that you have there. And so that's where you could say that there's the precedent for an occurrence. Somebody could commit other crimes if you're not allowed to use the footage to speak on behalf of, like, someone who's a relative of yours or in the same organization, or if you just have a really valid perspective, it can't be owned. It can't be owned if it's right. Somebody can't own a skewed perspective and protect it legally when you have a right perspective, because somebody altered the footage because they bought it and copyrighted it, and you can't use it, and nobody can use it to explain their angle. And then their angle ties in directly to the people involved. So people get mad when you say something that's contrary, that it's an unredeemable perspective. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to run it in, and they're gonna be violence over that. And then later on, when the police release the information, then you'll feel like a fucking savage, because it'll reverse the narrative, and all that shit will be it'll be on you. It'll be on the person that does these actions, the wrong actions, you know what I mean? And I don't even want to play with the ingredients with that how that could different ways that might manifest in thousands of different ways. It could be more complex and catch people up in it in different ways. I don't even want to speculate. I think I'm a special case that has reason all the time. Like, I can remember when I'm not reasonable at all. I'm actually dead set against, do you know what I mean? It's like taking revenge, going out even looking for it, without even, like, you didn't fucking dress down the situation. You don't really tap into the perspective that you need to go out and you know what I mean, like rectify shit, you know what I mean? And if you are, you just better make sure that you're right about it, you know? So you can't be right about it because you can't be real on the internet, because people will flag you and it'll be mysteriously shut down, and they'll take advantage of what they know how to do with the algorithm, or maybe they'll complain that you are engineering the technology or something. There's a special type of fucking flag that you can do on somebody that's more permanent, and has to do with teaching people how to make bombs and shit. So even if you're not making bombs, if I lodge a certain type of complaint that says that you were facilitating learning technology to people, like, teaching it, like, it doesn't even have to be on there. It'll be flagged for a long time. You know what I mean? It's weird. But basically what TMZ did is just copyright striking. To tie everything back in to the video, what they did is copyright strike. Anybody, they go out and buy it all and copyright strike anybody that uses it. And you can't trust timestamps, and you can't trust, because they can alter images and they can place them in different order to throw you off and put this perspective out there. And if you wonder what's the motivation, it's escapism. What's the motivation behind Jacobinism? It was escapism, because everything that was happening to make the Jacobins was unfortunate. Aristocracy was inflating every different process, I guess, like uh like everything that goes into baking bread or something was taxed, like every process and step along the way, and you know what I mean. So like I was saying, like is Opus Dei, escapism. But so one way that the Jacobins were escapism is that because their situation was so hard that they wanted to rely on Bolshevism. Is that sinister yet? Like, is it Luciferian yet? Because it goes into Luciferianism later. Because it almost seems demonizing. Because the Luciferians have the interest in becoming Jacobins after it happened. With the example provided, what happened with the Bolsheviks, then later what happens with the Jacobins, where they got their start, where they got their roots, how it proceeded to where you can be intimidating the aristocracy with guillotines and shit. Okay, and then if you are in a social, it's like now it's like socially engineering. You know what I mean? So it's like in light of the fact that all humanity is folly, everything is duality, and everything is folly, and you already understand about determinism and rolling over into austerity, and we have one age of austerity. We become esoteric once, right? It has to be Luciferian to want to rewind the time back to the 1980s, right after the 70s, and be right after the 70s and the 80s. That was when you could legit traverse a dimensional. There's a dimensional portal to skip the fourth dimension. You know what I mean? 4 dimensions of hell. I'm not saying it's like it's not exactly the same thing as gnashing of teeth and screaming and everything that you think in hell is. Like there is that, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible they were referencing gnashing teeth and screaming and stuff, but that was like something else. And I could tell you it's something like think of Prometheanism, Jacobinism and Prometheanism. And you know what I mean? And it's a little bit like you can ensconce in ridiculousness it's an opportunity for everyone to ensconce in ridiculousness if you are aware, right, of how you can't be for corporatized Bolshevism anymore. We were already esoteric. We were already deterministic. We were already an age of austerity. We were already esoteric. So if you know, it's not to demonize the Bolsheviks, but it's Luciferian to want to become a modern day, through duality, Jacobinism, implanting the Jacobism with because it's duality. Or like, get the fuck away from me. Ooh. See, it's like all this time, even I doubt myself. I think don't know what I'm talking about too. You must think I'm not know what I'm talking about until just then, whether the energy is appropriate to go down rabbit holes and stuff like that. Because some people already know this, what I said right now. Can you imagine? And they don't take DMT or anything like that. They know that an art history degree is not going to bring you into the orthodoxy, you know what I mean? Because somebody could go right along with you with the interest of building strong communities in observance of scripture, and they would be able to interpret. They would be able to interpret just as much as you can, and at the same time they would be trying to seed tares or something. They sow the tares and then try to break it up. Everybody break it up. That's how I feel. Judas, right? This is Judas. What made him feel like that? He thought he felt that way for fucking 60 pieces of silver, right? He thought he felt that way. And then he changed his mind and hung himself from a tree. And that's trying to understand where he's coming from. That's trying to understand where he's coming from.